started.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 4S WSIB Pandemic Recovery Support webinar for municipalities in Ontario, where we get to learn how SMEs in Ontario can get double the rebates on their WSIB premiums, as well as a $1,000 bonus just for registering for the program. And before we begin, I would like to mention that we are recording this webinar and the details of which will be shared on social media for educational purposes. And I would also like to conduct a short poll to take 2 minutes of your time. And these are just a few questions to know more about the businesses that we have here on today and what would they like to achieve from this program. So if you could take 2 minutes to just answer the short poll. I will be ending the poll shortly. Thank you so much for all your responses. I would like to share the results just to get a quick view on them. I think a lot of the companies that we have today have below 100 employees and do categorize as SMEs, and that's great to see the participation from that sector. And we do see a lot of interest in the health and safety program, and that's always a positive. And I would like to now introduce Fernanda from AMO to give us a little brief on how municipalities can really develop their health and safety programs and introduce our panelists. Thank you.
Thanks, and thank you. Yes, I'm actually, I actually work for LAS, so the LAS is the business arm of AMO, but 4S does have a partnership with AMO under one of our digital offerings, which is the Occupational Health and Safety Management Program. And so, you know, feel free to contact us and I can get you in touch with Nick, and then he can then give you any information you need. But we do have WSIB here today, and 4S Consulting will be speaking. So if you do have any questions, I guess we'll be answering the Q&A at the end of this webinar. But hopefully, if I can't answer these questions, I will definitely contact Nick, or I will relay these to Nick when he's back next week. Okay, thank you. So I believe Vanessa, are you next, or Sophie?
Yes, now I'd like to introduce Sobi from 4S Consulting, who's the Vice President of Operations, Partnerships, and Strategy here, and to give us a little brief of what we're going to learn today. Sobi, over to you.
Thank you, Shaunak and Fernanda. Welcome, everyone. Good morning. I do want to apologize because I am having internet issues at my place. So since we all are connecting virtually, I'm going to ask Shaunak to do the introduction for Vanessa from WSIB. It is a very exciting program. I want each and every one of you to walk away with wealth of knowledge in terms of how you can tap into the double special rebate that WSIB is offering. It is a short time offering, so please do pay attention to the presentation that Vanessa is about to take you through with what WSIB is offering. It is only for Schedule 1 employers, so I'm assuming all of you who have registered today are Schedule 1 municipalities, so that you can tap into this double rebate. With 4S is one of the 20-odd providers who are approved by WSIB to offer this program and help clients tap into this double rebate. It has to be registered through an approved provider. We are an AMO partner for occupational health and safety, and we partner with WSIB to take these special programs to clients across Ontario. Just to give a little bit of brief history about 4S, 4S has been in business for the last 17 plus years, serving many Canadian businesses across the country, as well as a lot of Ontario municipalities, privately owned businesses, not-for-profit organizations, institutions, training institutions. We specialize in consulting, helping companies implement, whether it's ISO 45000 certification, course certification, or just small compliance audit, gap analysis, review to implementing detailed policies and procedures in relation to any of their health and safety mandates. We specialize in implementing health and safety management system. We are ministry approved training providers and provide all the necessary ministry approved training in regards to Joint Health and Safety Committee certification. And we are approved for all the modalities, whether it's virtual, online, and in-class training sessions. We do have quite a bit of government projects where we do various different projects with various different Ontario government in terms of program implementation for health and safety. We specialize in e-learning. We do develop e-learning modules, customized e-learning modules, and we have a large LMS to support that. There's a full safety management system with our 4SafeCom safety training and management system for inspections, investigations, trend analysis, and all the training metrics and analysis to deploy e-learning, as well as to maintain all the training records. So that's just to give you a brief overview of who 4S is for those organizations who haven't heard about 4S. We do have quite a portfolio of municipalities that we serve across Ontario as well. So that is 4S in a nutshell. At this point, I do want to pass it over to Shauna to introduce Vanessa, and Vanessa will take us through the entire presentation about the special double rebate. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for that, Sobi. I would like to now introduce the WSI panelists we have today. Vanessa, who's a program management consultant at WSIB. She has a BSc in biology from Western University and graduated with an MSc in epidemiology from the University of Toronto in 2001. She is passionate about the innovative health and safety program created by WSIB and helping Ontario businesses understand the real value of health and safety and how it's going to benefit them. Before joining Workplace Health and Safety Services, Vanessa focused her last 20 years in the healthcare sector, where she led program development, quality improvement, and performance measurement in private, government, nonprofit, and charitable organizations. It's great to have you here, Vanessa, and learn from all the knowledge that you have. I hand it over to you for presenting us the WSIB's information. Thank you.
Thanks, Hsap. Thank you. Okay, let's try sharing my screen. Okay, can you see the screen, Hsap?
Yes, we can.
Oh, perfect. And you can hear me okay?
Yes.
Great. Okay. Well, that was a great introduction. Thank you. And so happy to be here to present to you today on WSIB's Health and Safety Excellence Program. So welcome. This is a webinar for smaller businesses mostly. Like Sobi said, today we're going to talk about how you can earn rebates from the WSIB while you strengthen your workplace health and safety. When we say smaller businesses, we mean those with 1 to 99 full-time employees. But if you do, there was a few, about 35%, if I remember, of you work for business municipalities that have 100 or more full-time employees. Most of the information we have to share with you today will apply to you too. The only content that will be different for you is the rebate information, because the double the rebate that Sylvie was talking about is for those smaller businesses. So you're welcome to stay on the call, and we'll just talk you through the differences related to the rebates. So in the spirit of truth and reconciliation, we acknowledge that the land we inhabit today, on which we operate our offices across Ontario, are traditional territories of Indigenous peoples. We recognize the history, spirituality, culture, and stewardship of the land of Indigenous peoples. So before we dive into our main content today, I want to take a couple of moments to talk about this image. I've got my coffee here. It doesn't look anything like what's on the picture there. It's too bad because it looks good. I think this really shows why we're here and how you may benefit from our offerings in a simple way. Essentially, what you see there, the whipped cream, is the steps that you would take to implement health and safety measures. Comparatively to the overall picture, the rest of the coffee in the glass there, the effort you're going to make is going to be worth it because of the sustainable benefits that your businesses receive. So basically, small effort there at the top with the whipped cream, large, big impact with all that coffee underneath. And that's really what we're here to talk to you about today. Taking the steps by investing in your workplace health and safety, and you'll create a lasting impact for your business by keeping your employees, customers, and community safe. So the WSIB is here to help make it easier for you with 4S through our Health and Safety Excellence Program, and that's what we're mostly going to focus on today. However, there are a few interesting facts and figures that we're going to share as well in relation to municipalities. So we're going to cover some of those health and safety challenges that are out there right now with some 2022 data we'll show you. We're going to go through the Health and Safety Excellence Program, and then there's some additional supports that we're offering for smaller businesses right now, as we mentioned, so we're going to take you through those. So businesses registered with the WSIB under Class D2, which is public administration, there are 881 of those in the municipal sector, and those are employers registered with the WSIB. And right now they have an average, those 881 have an average lost time injury rate of 1.57. So a lost time claim is created when a worker suffers a work-related injury or disease which results in being off work, essentially past the day of the accident or injury. And the lost time injury rate is the number of injuries per 100 workers. Now, the average lost time injury rate for all Schedule 1 businesses is 1.23. So that being said, that means that the average LTI rate for the municipal sector is above the average of all Schedule 1 businesses. So there's also been, as far as the overall injury trends go, there have been 679 allowed work-related injury or illness claims in the municipal industry sector in 2022, which has resulted in over 7 million in benefit payments. The most common injuries, which probably none of you are surprised about, are sprains and strains. But also mental stress disorders, especially with some of the services that municipalities support, that would probably make sense to you, as well as fractures. And these injuries have resulted in over 4,500 days lost from work. So that's quite a bit. Numbers speak there to what's happening in your sector. So when we take a look at 4S Consulting Services, they have 60 members currently enrolled in WSIB's Health and Safety Excellence Program. 4 of those members are in administration, service to buildings, dwellings, and open spaces, and other services. So those are the ones that would be most similar to you today. And they have had their members received over $377,000 in rebates awarded to date. So why is workplace health and safety important? So Shanak, I don't know if somebody could look at the chat for me because I can't, well, I guess I could pop it up, but just for those of you who are on with us today, feel free to put your hand up and share or pop your answers in the chat. Why do you think workplace health and safety is important? Is we getting any answers? Oh, somebody's saying chat is
Shaunak, I think
disabled.
they're saying chat is disabled. So
One sec, I've just, yes, I've enabled it.
Okay, rock and roll.
So sorry about that.
Okay, we've got keep costs down. Yes. Protect workers. Safety of employees. To prevent injuries. Yes. And all of those are linked, right? And we're going to talk about a little bit about those later on as well. But whatever sort of work you do, health and safety should be a priority for your business because you want to make sure your employees and your customers are safe, or those you're providing services to are safe as well. So it's not just about complying with legislation. It really still makes good business sense to invest in health and safety. And that's because, as you mentioned in the chat, the work you do can reduce injuries, it decreases absenteeism, it can improve your productivity and profit, and increase employee and customer satisfaction. So to help us deliver on our mandate to promote health and safety in Ontario workplaces, we've created what you've been hearing about, the Health and Safety Excellence Program. Sometimes you'll hear us say Hsap for short, because it's quite a mouthful all the time to say that. So if you hear me say Hsap throughout the rest of the presentation, that's what I'm referring to. So this program will help you protect your employees and customers. It'll help you build a stronger health and safety culture in your workplace. And the good news is you'll earn rebates while you do it. So keeping people safe at work is really important to us at the WSIB. It's important to 4S, and we're well trained and equipped to help anyone affected by workplace injury or illness. But the whole point of this program is we'd much prefer that you don't get hurt and your employees don't get hurt in the first place. So what we're going to do, we do what we can to help people avoid work-related injuries and illnesses. And that's really why this program was created and why 4S is helping to implement and helping you to do this. So let me tell you a little bit about how the Health and Safety Excellence Program works. There are 36 topics in the program across 3 levels, which will help you build a robust health and safety management system. It's aligned with the Ministry of Labor, Trade, I think immigration is in there now, and training and skills development accreditation program. And the whole point of the program is, as Sobi mentioned, there's 20 providers, so you won't be doing this alone. So when I say a topic here, it's not a course that you take. It really is taking something like health and safety responsibilities and really integrating that into your workplace. So 4S will help you build the policies, build the program, build a way to help you evaluate whether you've actually implemented it well, whether people have an understanding, whether the education is happening. So it's really beyond that course, and it's what we call getting it to be living and breathing in your organization. So when you enroll in the program, you'll register with the WSIB approved provider, and they'll be guiding you along the way, giving you the support you need to be successful in the program. So WSIB is also here to help you. We have dedicated consultants that can help you throughout your journey. And I think one of the really important things here is that with this program, it's very flexible, so you can start wherever you're currently at. So some of you may still be at the foundation level, some of you may be at intermediate where you're just building the program, and some of you will be at that advanced level, but the program is flexible enough to allow you to start and pick topics wherever you're at currently. So level 1 includes topics that help lay that groundwork of the basic health and safety program. It does include many of the legislative requirements, but also performing your risk assessment. It's all about controlling the hazards in the workplace based on that assessment, and it allows you to go beyond requirements to really uncover the causes of workplace, those root causes of the injuries and illnesses, and then what you're going to do about them. So right now, COVID is still probably the #1 control of hazards topic focus as we continue to unfortunately go into waves and have to adjust to this very virulent strains that are coming through. And control hazards is actually the one topic that you can repeat over and over again and get rebates for it. So new hazards pop up and you can develop policies and procedures to address those as well. So level 2 is where you would start to work on a health and safety management system, meaning you're really integrating your health and safety program into the processes, the operations, and activities of your organizations. And there's 17 topics there, but in the intermediate bucket there, that step, a lot of those topics go together. So you can kind of bundle them. So for example, there are 3 return to work topics that you could bundle together. There's a couple of emergency preparedness topics that you can bundle together. So there's a lot of topics in that section, but again, there's topics that work very well together if you do them together. So level 3 is where you take everything that you've done and integrate it in the intermediate and you optimize your system. So it's truly working to prevent injuries and illnesses. So what you're doing at this point is you're continuously assessing and controlling those hazards. You're looking at your continual improvement processes. And so that's where you're really, looking at what you've done and making sure that what you've put into place is sustainable. So although these are building blocks towards the ministry's accreditation program, we do have some unique topics that are offered that kind of go above and beyond those legal requirements. And evidence supports that those are ones that contribute to the healthiest and safest workplaces. So things like corporate social responsibility is one of the topics that is offered at the advanced level. So we understand you've got a lot going on right now. And again, the program's very flexible. So you can implement between 1 to 5 topics each year and get rebates for any of those number of topics that you complete. We also have the option if things kind of go awry and, stuff happens, you can choose to defer topics. So let's say you chose 3 topics and due to whatever reason you can only implement 1, you always have the option to defer to a future year to work on those topics. So very easy, very flexible. 4S works with you on trying to figure out which of those topics are the best ones for you. So for every topic that you develop and implement in your workplace, you'll be eligible for a rebate. And when you finish a topic, what happens is what we do under the the WSIB end is you'll provide us with a write-up of the work you've done and what we call those evidence stories. So basically what we really just want to see is that you've done the work, employees know about it, it's working, and that you have a plan to continuously make sure that it is going to continue to work. So once we've confirmed that you meet the topic requirements, you'll be eligible for a rebate. Rebate amounts are different for everyone because they're calculated using the amount you paid in WSI premiums. And I'm going to give you some examples in a few slides. So your rebates this year are based on your premium amounts for 2021, and your rebates next year will be based on the premiums you pay this year and so on. So it adjusts each year. The equation for working at rebates is, well, a bit complicated, so I'm not going to get into that in too much detail here, but program consultants at WSIB and at 4S can help you figure out at an individual level what your rebate would be. But what I will say is that we've set a minimum rebate of $1,000 per topic. So even if your premium amounts are really low, your rebate won't be lower than $1,000 per topic. And this year, because we're doubling rebates for 2022, for those smaller businesses, you'll get a minimum of $2,000 for every topic. Catch is, and we'll talk about that in a little bit again, is that you need to finish those topics by December 6th, 2022. So if you're really interested in getting that double rebate this year and you haven't joined the program, get in there now, get registered, and get starting working on a topic. And a lot of the topics, it is possible to do them in 3 months, so, or 3 to 6 months. So there's some topics that take more work, some take less. So 4S is there to help you really figure out what that, what those topics are for you. So to complement the rebates, you're also going to receive digital badges. And this is really great to showcase to the public, to those who you provide services to, that you are committed to health and safety. So there's 4 different badges you can earn the program, starting with the member badge when you first join. And this also goes up on our public website, which is called Safety Check, where people can look at your health and safety history. So the badge goes right up there beside your name. Having a foundation badge means that you have a clear commitment to physical and psychological health and safety. You've built a strong foundation. The intermediate badge means your business has developed a good working occupational health and safety management system and an effective return to work program. As I mentioned before, those topics are available in the intermediate level. And last but not least, the final badge is advanced. So when you achieve this badge, which means you've completed all the topics at that level, it's a real testament that you've built a sustainable occupational health and safety management system and that it's aligned with industry best practices. So as you earn the different badges in the program, we encourage everyone to show them off. You can display them on your website, any of your marketing materials, anywhere you can share your achievements with anyone who you're servicing, so that they know you have that commitment and you can build a great reputation for supporting health and safety in the community. So speaking of the public, sharing a survey that we did in 2021 that shows that 82% of people say they want to check out the health and safety information of a new workplace before starting a new job. I know I've been encouraging my son to do that as he's looking for work right now. I said, did you check that company up on Safety Check? And 62% of businesses agree they have become more interested in workplace health and safety since COVID-19. And that, I'm sure, is not a surprise to anybody who's on this webinar today. So it really shows you health and safety is more important than ever. The public is very interested in how businesses are doing, and another great reason to showcase your badges and strengthen your brand. It builds trust, and it also, based on that 82%, can also help with recruiting top talent because, prospects have that interest in that topic now. So how you will work through the program depends on the side of your business, but as you move through the program, you'll go through 4 steps or stages each year. And we call that join, develop, demonstrate, and achieve to really make it easy. You'll hear 4S probably talk about that a lot. So no matter the size of your business, you'll join the program by registering with one of the providers. For smaller businesses with fewer than 100 full-time employees that we mentioned, this year the WSIB will also provide $1,000 financial support towards provider fees and services. So you'll join, you'll get that money to support you through 4S, and you'll receive this financial support once you've enrolled in the program and your action plan topics have been approved. Now, action plan topics, that really just means you pick the topics, those 1 to 5 topics that you're going to work on. That's what your action plan is. It's just a list of those topics. And 4S will be the final say on approving those. So the join phase, as you could see then, is also when you choose the topics you want to focus on the year ahead. The second step in the program there is the develop. So this is where the bulk of the work happens. It's where you're going to work on those topics you've chosen. You're going to embed them into your everyday processes and operations. And again, 4S and your program provider will support you through this step. Step 3, we call demonstrate. I mentioned this before. This is where you submit your evidence story and any files, or we accept videos to show support for your story. We also call it validation. And this is where we see how you developed your topics. And we have several tools available to support you through this part of the program. So there's samples of what evidence stories would look like. There's templates that smaller businesses can use to make the process easier. 4S has a lot of tools to help you with that as well. And we also have templates available for businesses who have achieved a core certification. The final step is the rewards here, is the achieve step. This is where you'll receive your rebates on completed topics. You'll receive digital badges for completing different levels of the program. And again, we're excited to let you know that for a limited time, smaller businesses, those with fewer than 100 full-time employees, if you complete your action plan in December, you'll receive double those rebates. So we talk a lot about joining and working with a provider. 4S here today is who's hosting the webinar, and they're going to work with you through every step of the journey. As Sobi mentioned, we have 20 that we work with right now, and they are vetted through a rigorous recruitment process to ensure that they can give you the appropriate support, that they know the program like the back of their hand, and they know what you need to build your health and safety program. So they are experts in the topic requirements to be able to support you through this. So each provider has their own offerings, including a lot of those services that Sobi mentioned at the beginning. So I won't go into those here, but you know, there's opportunities for you to network with other like-minded businesses, templates, training opportunities, and that's all available to you. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit more about the difference for the smaller businesses right now in each of those phases. So when you join, again, we mentioned there's that $1,000 financial support towards the provided services. And we do have recommended topics based on your level of maturity. So you can do an assessment. But as I mentioned, right now, if you want to get the double the rebate, it's important to get in now and start working on those topics. Again, the develop stage, we have a topic selection rationale that we normally have. And so for those of you who are larger organizations, you would still have to go through that process. But for the purposes of this program, it's not required. You don't have to provide a rationale for your topic selection. We've simplified the evidence package template and the validation sheet. So our validators are going in, knowing what they're looking at, knowing that this is for smaller businesses. And then again, the achieve, you can receive double the rebate for completed topics. So Here's an example of a municipality with 55 employees. Their total WSIB premiums last year were $20,000. They completed 5 topics. Let's just say they completed 5 topics. At 2%, this is where we get into the formula, but at 2% of 20,000, that would be $400. So they would get $1,000 minimum. For 5 topics, that would have been $5,000 in a regular year. That has been doubled for 2022. So that would mean $10,000 back, plus the $1,000 support for registering in 2022. So the total financial support is $11,000 for this municipality with 55 employees. For a smaller one that has 15 employees, let's say they paid $1,500 in premiums last year and they completed 2 topics. Let's say injury, illness, and incident reporting and control of hazards. Those are 2 foundational topics. 2% would be $30, so they get the $1,000 minimum, and a rebate on their premiums can't exceed last year's premium amount. So instead of $1,000 per topic, they'll get $1,500 total. Doubled for 2022, that's over $3,000 plus the $1,000 support, so that's over $4,000 in rebates. So what are current members saying? We talked a lot about what the program is and how it can make it easier for you to invest in health and safety, but nothing beats about hearing it from your peers. So far, this is a quote from a participant. So far from joining to now, we don't have any safety issue claims. Normally per year, we've had at least 3-4 claims to WSIB, but we've had no claims in the last 10 months. And another quote here, health and safety goes beyond preventing workplace incidents and injuries. It's about promoting the wellness and well-being of employees. So talking to that culture piece, and by helping to improve your health and safety culture, that impacts preventing injury and illness. So those 2 work hand in hand. I also want to share with you some results from our Hsap Health and Safety Excellence Program member survey last year. So 88% of them reported they were satisfied with the program and would recommend it to their peers, and 90% of the members reported an improvement in their health and safety culture. And this is significant. Again, shows that investing in health and safety can improve your culture, and it works in that kind of circular feedback loop there. Culture impacts prevention. So in case you're wondering whether the program is right for you, we put together a list of reasons why we think it could be good for you as Schedule I municipalities. So we definitely know that the improvements to your workplace health and safety practice can reduce injuries, can decrease absenteeism, increase productivity and profit, and improve employee and customer satisfaction. So even if you don't join the program, we strongly encourage you to look at strengthening your workplace health and safety regardless. Second reason is this works. We conduct member surveys each year so we can see how well the program's working and to find out what we can do to make it even better. As we mentioned, they tell us that 90% of our members have seen an improvement in their workplace safety culture. So they're more engaged. And one thing I should mention about this program, and the real great thing about this program, it really is about engaging your employees, getting them involved to help you understand how you can best embed workplace health and safety by talking to those involved in the work. So it really does set you up for success with engaging your employees and understanding where really you need to do some improvement. So the financial rewards, those rebates are doubled for 2022. They'll also give you $1,000 that can help pay for costs associated with your new health and safety plan. And again, we will re-emphasize that job seekers are interested in their prospective employee's safety record. And as we mentioned, 82%, which is a very high percent, say they want to know how safe they'd be in a potential workplace. Our program is also designed to align with industry best practice and standards, meaning if your goal is to become accredited under CORE or ISO, Hsap can help you get there. But right now, this year, you'll earn a strong return on investment by enrolling in the program because it means you're investing in your health and safety. So we know from our partnership with the Institute of Work and Health, who conducted a recent study, and they found that businesses can earn between $1.24 and $2.14 for every dollar they invest in health and safety. So this is outside of the rebates. This has got nothing to do with the rebates. They just looked at high-performing businesses, and this was the results that they got. So over $1 for every dollar they invest in health and safety is what you would get. That's your return on investment, simply not from doing Hsap, just from investing in health and safety. And finally, most important, joining the program means you're making a commitment to help keep your people healthy, happy, and safe. Employees and colleagues start feeling like family after a while, and ultimately keeping them safe is good for what you do. The impacts of a work-related injury or illness can last a lifetime for an employee, and it can affect the way that you run your services for years. Lastly, we just want to share some other helpful resources with improving your workplace health and safety. WSIB has partnered with the National Institute of Disability Management and Research to offer Ontario businesses continuing education courses and other supports in disability management and return to work. You can work on 3 return to work topics, as I mentioned, in Hsap, and also receive these free supports to strengthen your disability management and return to work program. We can send more information on what's being offered, as well as how you could apply to receive these offerings after our meeting today. And the application forms this presentation. So next steps, you can contact us. You can contact 4S. You can get an estimate of what your rebate might be. Sign up. You can receive your member badge and that $1,000 financial support. If you're a larger business, you still get that member badge. The badges are for everybody to help strengthen your reputation towards a healthier and safer workplace. All right, any questions? Comments?
Hi, Vanessa. I do see one attendee has raised their hand, so I'm gonna pass on the mic over to them so they can ask the question.
Shaunak and Vanessa, I'm going to suggest we'll take up that one question, but we will also take the opportunity to introduce what FORES is offering to support with the double incentive as a package program that we are doing for municipalities specifically. So a lot of their concerns and questions may be answered when they go through the 4 slides that we have on what we are including as part of our offering and how much it's going to cost.
Sure. No problem. Yes, so I would like to pass it over to now Anjani Agashi, the Director of Consulting here at 4S, to give us a little bit of information on the 4S offering and how we are involved and can benefit municipalities in Ontario.
Thank you, Shaunak. Before Anjani comes on board to go through our program, I do want to take the opportunity to actually thank Vanessa for the detail that she took us through. This offering that WSIB is making, the double rebate, is something that we have never seen in the past. It is for a short time period. So I would encourage each and every one of you who are on this call, because I had the great experience of working with few municipalities in the past where we were engaged for doing gap analysis, compliance review, and then helping them implement a detailed hazard analysis to implementing the program. program and ongoing program support. So knowing how municipalities work, unlike the full-for-profit organizations, the rebate that you can get from WSIB can be reinvested back into improving your health and safety program, especially as CAOs. You are ultimately responsible for the municipality's health and safety, the employers' health and employees' health and safety. Due diligence, I'm sure it's a term that's widely used in health and safety, doing everything reasonable under the circumstances to protect your employees and being able to show that you have done everything reasonable in terms of having your policy, program, training, and ongoing management of the program. So this is a great way. WSIB is giving money for you to get started with this program or to make improvements of your existing program. Every municipality will have some level of program implemented, unlike some of the full-for-profit organizations that we deal with. You would have some level of program. It may be at the advanced level, it may be at the intermediate level, or at the beginner's level. But we will work with you to and help you choose the topics that will easily qualify you to get the double rebates for this year before December. So we have carved out a program that will help you to actually go through this journey with us while we are holding your hands and taking you through this process. WSIB is there to support, but you have to work with the provider. That is how WSIB has actually designed the program. Among the 20-odd providers, you do need to choose one provider. And you know why, you may ask why Forest. Just to justify why Forest has over 65 full-time staff. We are considered one of the largest health and safety providers, whether it's consulting, training to software in Ontario, outside of the associations. We do hold your hands and take you through the journey, and it is a full support solution that we provide. You could go to Forest's website and learn more about us, and you could check our reviews that we have. We have a 5-star review. When it comes to health and safety, our intention, our mission and vision for our clients is to help our clients implement a sustainable health and safety management system and make sure that it is embraced as part of your safety culture. With that being said, I am going to pass it over to Akash, who manages the consulting team with over 27 full-time staff who are there to support our clients with the safety management system implementation or excellence program implementation. So I'll pass it over to Akash at this point, where he can actually give you a little bit of detail about what are we offering and how can we ensure that you get the double rebate within the 4 or 5 months that we have in front of us. Thank you so much. Akash, Anjaneya Agashe, I'll pass it to you at this point.
thank you, Sobi. Good morning to all of you. Vanessa, thank you so much for the insightful update on the entire program. If you could stop sharing the screen, I'll start. I think I should be able to start sharing. Perfect. Just give me a sec. So I hope all of you can see my screen as well as hear me clearly. Okay. If that's a yes, basically what I want to cover in this few slides that I have is our model or Forest's program model for delivery of the WSIB's Pandemic Recovery Support Initiative. That's just the program that Vanessa was talking to you about. Okay. If I'll just go back to and just recap a little bit on what Vanessa covered. So basically, she explained that this program is to be rolled out in 4 steps of join, develop, demonstrate, and achieve. And I've just broken it down into a few more steps, but that's pretty much the same process that all clients or all municipalities would sort of go through by the time they join and till they're actually able to get their rebate. Now, the good part about this program is that the minute you join and you have an approved action plan, you get access to the member badge of being a WSIB member for this health and safety program, as also you get your first carrot of the $1,000. Okay, and once you go through these steps, typically by the time you achieve your rebate, it would look to the tune of something like $10,000. But depending on, for very small municipalities that have premiums less than $7,000, it's going to be what premium you paid and then double of that. And the timeline that you have to achieve is before December 6th, 2022. And this is, in a nutshell, is what Vanessa covered as part of this program. So when it comes to our Forces program model, before we sort of sat and devised the model, we had two keen sort of considerations before we sort of developed it. And those the two considerations were, first and foremost, we wanted to make it easy for municipalities, because I did see some questions on, hey, what's going to be our time commitment? Is it going to be like we are going to be sitting and working 15 hours a week from now till December before we get that $11,000 rebate? So we definitely wanted to make it easy for our clients and for municipalities in specific, as also develop a sustainable program. We did not want it to be a sort of band-aid that could be easily put, but then also easily ripped off. So as much as the rebate would act as the cherry on top, which WSIB would provide at the end, our main sort of focus would be to help you all bake the cake well, so that that cake is sort of something that you all can enjoy with the cherry on the top. With these considerations, what the program model that we have come out with, we would first start off with helping you or helping each of the municipalities with topic selection, registration, and the action plan approval. That's the first easy step. Typically takes about a day or a couple of days. And that's going to be the first step where as a municipality, you register with through 4S on the WSIB portal and select your topics and have your action plan up. The second thing that we would be offering is free mandatory training for the 4 courses that are mandatory in Ontario. That is the WMIS 2015, Workplace Violence and Harassment, Health and Safety Awareness, and the AOD. So these 4 e-training modules would be available for up to 100 employees, free of any cost on the ForSafeCom platform, which means for any municipality that is eligible for the double rebate would be able to sign up and assign these 4 mandatory courses to all their employees and have them completed for free. The third part is we would provide you with templates for the 5 topics or the 5 topics that you have chosen, which would be the policies and procedures that are relevant for those topics. And what we expect is that these templates have been developed, keeping in requirements keeping in touch with the requirements that WSIB has laid out for each of these topics. So all those requirements have been captured, as well as any legislative requirement which is applicable for that topic would have been captured in that template. Now, the only minor customization that clients could do is in terms of nomenclature. If there are sort of wordings in terms of whether it's called senior management or top leadership or CAO or any other terms that you all may want to use, those are the only sort of fine prints that you all would need to customize. Otherwise, as far as content for that topic is concerned, that would be well captured by us. Once these templates are rolled out, the difficult question or the most difficult question that all of you would have is, hey, I have got this policy or procedure, what do I do with it? So we will provide you coaching on how to implement these topics. And the way that coaching would be provided is not just through group sessions and discussions on each of those topics, but also with the help of a checklist that will help you validate implementation. So you can go with that checklist and say, do you have a policy and procedure? Yes. Is it communicated to all employees? Yes. Is it signed, current, and dated? Yes. Do you have the first aid box of the right size for your organization? Yes, etc., etc., etc. And once you go through that checklist, you would have sort of prepared yourself to prepare your submission and forward it to the WSIB. So before you do that, your next question is going to be, what do you mean by submission? How does it look like? And so we will provide you templates of what a final submission looks like. WSIB also has templates of some submissions for each of the topics. So we will help you all, guide you all sort of through this final submission process, where we will help you prepare your submissions and then validate the submissions before we forward it or submit it to the WSIB. And last but not the least, we will also follow up with the WSIB to make sure that your rebates are sort of, your submission is validated, it is approved, and then you sort of be the sort of person that communicates to you on when you are likely to receive that check from WSIB. So this in a nutshell is what our program model looks like. And we would have typically a one-time fee of $3,000. This is for most municipalities that would have less than 100 employees and would be eligible for the double rebate. Of course, there would be, so this is more of a ballpark figure of what we are likely to charge as fees. Of course, for very large municipalities or very small municipalities, these costs are going to be different. Whatever I have covered in this slide sort of can thereafter be translated into the choice of topics. So what we have done is from the WSIB bucket of 36 topics, we have culled out 8 topics from which municipalities can choose the 5 topics that they would like to implement this year. Why we chose these topics is, one, they are sort of applicable to all businesses, not just municipalities, but also construction, GCs, or hospitality industry, or not-for-profits, or so their applicability is across all sectors. Second, we find it that they are fundamental topics to your health and safety program. So it would be the right time for you all to get started with these topics before you all move on to certain advanced topics like documentation and record control or contractor management, etc. And thirdly, given the time that we have from now till December 6th to develop and implement these topics, we felt that these topics could be developed and implemented within the next 4 to 5 months before we make the submission to WSIB in December. The process, as in a little bit more detail, if I can go through, is what we are going to do is we are going to, even in the client contract itself, we are going to sort of clearly define what's going to be Forest's responsibility and the client's responsibility in each of the stages. And the way we have broken it down is in the plan, do, check, act model, or it's the standard model that's followed by many health and safety programs, including the ISO. So under plan, it will basically help you get registered, get your action plan approved, and get the mandatory training assigned. And I would say in terms of a ballpark type of commitment, the commitment would be something like 80-20, where 80% of the effort would be put in by us, and the municipality obviously would participate in the topic selection because they would want to choose the topics, the right kind of 5 topics that are applicable to them. As part of implement, like I mentioned, we would be providing you with guidance on implementing these 5 topics and also providing you with a checklist. Of course, our telephone lines would also be open, I won't say 24/7, but during the working week to make sure that we are able to address your questions and concerns as you face them, and not wait for 15 days or a month to get back an answer on hey, I'm stuck here. What do you think I should be doing? This probably is the most important phase where commitment from each of the municipalities would be essential, because you would be implementing in them or passing them down of what's developed to all your employees, communicating it and making sure that you all have ticked all the boxes in the checklist. And that is the part where maximum amount of your time commitment would be required. But of course, we will guide you step by step in this entire process, so that it will be easy for you to implement, and you'll be sort of confident that you're able to maneuver through each of these. We would suggest implementing 2 topics first, getting a submission and keeping it, validating with us, and then doing the next 3, or in some combination like that. So we don't want you to wait to implement 5 topics, and then at the end of it, we come and point out 10 gaps and say, hey, you have not done this. So we want to start giving you that feedback as soon as possible, so that you all find it easy to go and complete at least 2 or 3 or 4 topics quickly, and then move on to the other 2 topics as well. The check part is when we will be preparing the submission. Again, it is not a very difficult process if you have done the first 2 parts well, where all you need to do is collate all the document properly and build a story that is convincing and that the WSIB can understand when they validate it. So it's providing them with the proof of the pudding or the hard work that you all have already done, and demonstrating that you all have actually implemented at your workplace what you have said you would do. The last part, that is the simple part, is just uploading your submission and then following up with the WSIB. And I would say that the first and the last part are the really simple parts. It's probably a day's activity on making this actual submission, and then waiting for WSIB's check run or next check run to be able to have your submission validated by them, approved, and then waiting for that check to come back to you. So this is a sort of detailed map of what the program would look like in every phase. Again, we have been doing this for the last 3 or 4 years. We are very, very confident with our process, and we are very confident that for the 5 topics that you would choose, we would engage with you all and follow up with you all to make sure that you all are implementing these topics at the workplace, baking that cake well. I'm sure if that's done, that's done well, WSIB would be happy to provide the cherry on top at the end of the year. So with that, I have completed. I'm sorry I have not had the chance to take a look at the questions. Even before your post, and I go back to the chat, we will be sharing this deck with all of you, along with Vanessa's deck, as she just mentioned. So you will have enough sort of food for thought. And the sincere request once again is, since we have that time cap of December 6th, for those of you all that are looking to register in this program, please do it sooner than later. So that gives us more time to sit and develop and implement this program and get the rebate at the end of the year. With that, I'm going to stop sharing for the time being so that I can return back to the forum. And if there are any questions, we'd be happy to take them.
Thank you so much, Akash. Why don't you take a look at the chat to see if there's any questions that you would have to answer. In the meantime, I will just kind of recap. Main takeaways for all of you who have joined today is the program that Forest is offering. The question that if I'm in your shoe, I would be asking a similar question like, hey, what is other providers offering? So the average cost to join a safety excellence program with any other provider is, on average, it's $1,000. So that's why WSIB is giving that $1,000 to pay the provider as a sign-up. So apart from the $5,000 times 2 that you would get, you get $1,000 from WSIB the minute that you actually go into the online portal and register with a provider like Forest. So the $1,000 is typically the fee that a provider would charge to kind of guide you through the process. It does not include giving you templates of policies, procedures, working with you to finalize and vet the policies and procedure. It does not include the ForSafeCom system with all the mandatory training and any particular topics that you choose among the 8 topics that we have carved out. We are giving you almost like a turnkey, hold your hand solution to ensure that you get the minimum $10,000 double the rebate. So most of you who have joined us, we are assuming would qualify for minimum of $10,000 with this double rebate if you were to take advantage of it right now and submit all your documentation before December 6th. So it's the total of $11,000 rebate that you would get, and us holding your hands and taking through this journey of working with you for 5 topics is $3,000. That includes the mandatory training, because training is one of the major components that they do want to make sure that you have all the legal compliance for training, and all the other policies and procedures, and submitting it and validating it and making sure everything meets the requirements. So when Akash mentioned the first 2 or 3 topics would be validated, it's just a sample that we would do for the first 2 or 3 topics, but we will work with you to ensure that you actually pick 5 topics, because we want you to walk away with that $11,000 that you can possibly tap into as a total rebate that you can tap in from this particular program. If you are a very small municipality, it is 100% of the rebate that you have paid up to $7,000. Vanessa can verify that, but that is what we have been told and instructed by WSIB. If you are a small municipality and if you pay less than $7,000 in premium, it is 100% of the premiums up to $5,000 that they get, I believe, or then it goes into $1,000 for a topic. So for example, if you paid $4,000 in premiums last year, you will get $1,000 for signing up. And then for the 5 topics that you choose, you will get $4,000 times 2. That's when you show that you have successfully implemented the whole plan, do, check, act phases, and you have evidence to support the implementation of those topics, then you get the full rebate for it. So it's just to summarize so that all of us are on the same page. It is a special program that we are offering because we want to keep it very simple, very easy, and we do want to hold your hands and take you through this journey because Forest was one of the initial pilot partners with WSIB, and there were many challenges that employers faced when it came to validation because it was a long, lengthy process. So we have vetted through those processes. That's why we are offering what we are offering as a hand-holding process to ensure that you get the full rebate. I know some of the questions that came in the chat is, can we actually take a copy of this presentation and, you know, have this discussion with your internal partners and your colleagues? One of the things that Forest is doing is we are running sessions on a weekly basis to answer any questions and get first-hand information from us as the experts in what we are going to offer, what does this program has, and answer any questions and concerns that you may have. So we do have Shaunak and Michelle. I believe Michelle is dedicated for municipalities. Either myself, I'm the VP of Operations and Strategic Partnership at Forest. I do have over 22 years of experience in implementing health and safety programs and being an external auditor for Core and ISO. I can answer any questions. Akashi can answer any questions. We also have John, who is our business development director, who's also in the call, who can also answer any questions. So if you do want us to do a particular presentation or set up a time to do a session to help people make a decision, especially your colleagues and other decision makers as part of the association, municipalities, we can do that for you. So all what you need to say in the chat is, please book a time with us and we will book a time to actually take you through that process. So this way we clarify any questions that you may have. So I will actually stop at this point and I will pass it over to all of you who are here. Any questions and concerns you have, please ask, because we do have Vanessa, we are here. So we will do our best to answer any questions or concerns you may have. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Till we wait for questions, Shaunak, I'm sure that you're going to be compiling Vanessa's slide deck, my slide deck, the flyer that we have, as well as the registration link for the info sessions, and sharing it with all the participants of this call, so that they have all the information that they need to go through it once again. And if they have any questions, they can always come back to us.
Yes,
hey, Sobi, I'd like to add one thing. The one thing of my experience of dealing with a lot of the municipalities and township, the feedback that I've received, and not talking about the large ones, but the ones with under 100, staff members, is that there's not a dedicated resource for health and safety. They lack resources. The other thing that I got feedback on is lack of structure. And so one thing about this whole program that WSIB has created, amongst with the collaboration with the CPO, is to these 36 topics, especially the 5 that you use each year, is provides a little bit more structure. Process that you may be a little bit weak in. So the great thing about this, as Sobi mentioned, is that it's an easy way of getting a little bit more structure in your health and safety program. And then as you fulfill those 5 topics this particular term, and then you continue on and on and on. And there's 36 topics. And the great thing about being rewarded by adding more structure and process to something that you probably feel that there should be some opportunities for improvement. So as a consideration, and I know a lot of people think about bandwidth and time, you know, feeling that's overwhelmed. Oh my God, this is not something that you should be worried about in regards to resources and lack of bandwidth. With us as a provider, we, as Anjanae mentioned, we do a lot of the heavy lifting. We do the coaching to make sure that you follow the process and guidelines in coaching the implementation. And it's not like WSIB is looking for an audit to audit the whole process of sending somebody in and making it stressful. So we actually, I think our record is we already achieved over $500,000 of rebates for our clients in the last year and a half. So if you're looking for adding more structure and be rewarded by doing that, so therefore it justifies the investment, something you may want to consider. So that's the only thing I wanted to add.
Thank you so much, John, for bringing that clarity. Yes, most of the smaller municipalities do not have a dedicated health and safety resources. There are other staffs who wear multiple different hats to support with the health and safety Ministry of Labor working together to ensure employers are keeping their health and safety programs alive and making upgrades to their health and safety management system. So do take advantage of this, and any help you need, we are here to hold your hands and take you through this journey. That is why our program is very, very unique, that we have carved out for municipalities, and the cost is we are keeping it very simple so that after paying for this, you can still have money left over that you can reinvest in other parts of the program or for other initiatives. Those of you who are interested in booking a time for us to do a presentation to your colleagues, please put that in chat so that it makes it easier for any one of us to reach out and set up a time for a particular session that we can take you through this particular program and how we can support you. Any other questions we have, like we have a few minutes, so we are here to answer those questions for you. Do keep in mind that this special offering, we are not too sure whether the WSIB is going to offer it for next year. It was announced at the end of June. It is a special offering for less than 6 months to take advantage of the double rebate. So it is a very short time period, and we are seeing a large number of employers actually rolling up their sleeves to say, let me take advantage of the special offering of double rebates, because it is quite a bit of money on the table to be left out. So be conscious of the time when it comes to making a decision to move forward with this. I believe one of the questions is this program only for businesses within Ontario? Yes, WSIB's rebate program is only for Ontario. As long as you are paying premiums, you can tap into this program. But for any other provinces, they have their own special programs. In most cases, it score, which is a safety management system implementation, and you need to get audited to audit the program and then submit that to WSIB to get the rebate. But for Ontario, this is a special program.
I just wanted to add to that, Sobi. If you're a larger Schedule 2, you can participate in the program as well, but because Schedule 2 doesn't pay premiums, they don't get the rebate or the $1,000. But there's all the benefits that you just talked about putting some structure in place, having some help through the providers, and you do get the badges to strengthen reputation and to showcase. So Schedule 2 can certainly participate, but they won't get the financial benefits just because of the model that we have.
Well, if you don't have any other questions, I guess it's about time. As we mentioned, if you want us to reach out to you to do the presentation, we are here for you. If you have any particular questions for Vanessa, she's also here for the next couple of minutes. If not, we'll call it a day. Thank you so much for all of you joining. I know we had over 75 participants registered, and we had, I believe, about 50 who joined. Thank you, all of you, and have a safe and awesome day. We are here to support you, so please do not hesitate to reach us out for any questions or concerns you may have. As I mentioned to you, you do need to act in a timely manner, because by the time you sign up and start working on the program and implementation, we do need to submit everything before December 6th. Thank you so much, Vanessa, for joining us today. And thank you, all of you. Have a safe and awesome day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.